Being on the internet is so scary. Maybe an hour is not enough for you to feel satisfied, but over 2 hours is when you start to feel sad inside. If you are also caught in the doom scroll, I hope that this vlog inspires you to do something else. Doom scrolling. It's the easiest it's ever been, with algorithms meant to keep you on the app, the news being scary. For myself, and for I know a lot of us out there, my daily average screen time is 5 hours, 26 minutes. I think that's actually pretty good. I'm kind of proud of that. However, yesterday, I spent a total of just under 8 hours, 7 hours, 58 minutes on my phone, 5 hours and 47 minutes of which was on social media. Because I was caught in the doom scroll, I physically could not stop. There was something in my brain that was like, I need to know, I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. And the truth is, I don't. Spending that much time taking in negativity, things that are in a negative light, is just not good for my brain specifically. I'm speaking for myself, but I know that a lot of people can relate. I do it under this guise of, well, I need to stay informed. But the truth is, there are plenty of ways to stay informed that don't involve me spending over 5 hours on a social media app. Like, girl, we need to draw the line somewhere. So the goal of the vlog this week is to remind you guys and myself of things I could be doing instead of doom scrolling, because at a certain point, it just becomes unhealthy. And I am a sunshine person. I am a very positive person. I describe myself as pretty optimistic, and doom scrolling makes me the exact opposite. I don't like it. I don't like what it does to my brain or how I feel on the inside. And because I know that I'm not the only one struggling with this, I hope that you can maybe be inspired to do something else if you are also caught in the doom scroll. Stop it. Let's switch gears together. I understand that even though it sounds silly, it is hard to just put your phone down and get off of it, especially if you are someone like me who has just honestly had a phone in my hand for over a decade of my life. Most of my life, I've had a phone in my hand, to be honest. Breaking that habit can seem really daunting at first. So my first suggestion is, instead of scrolling on social media, we find something else to do on our phones. One of the things that I like to do the most is actually listen to podcasts. You're still kind of on your phone. Like, you really don't even have to be. You can just hit play on Spotify or whatever you use, put your phone down and walk away, which is kind of what I do. Podcasts can be a distraction for your brain. Like, instead of filling it with whatever you're doom scrolling on, you can choose a podcast with a more positive topic. It doesn't even have to be like a self-care podcast or an educational podcast. One of my favorite podcasts that I listen to is literally Brain Rot. And I'm not saying that as something negative towards the podcasters. I love these podcasts for that reason, because my brain can turn off and I can just take in whatever they have to say, and it's not that serious and it doesn't really matter, and it's just a form of fun entertainment. If you have a podcast that you think would be good for this, please comment it down below, because I'm looking to refresh the ones that I'm listening to, and it'll be fun to just share. Also, I'm kind of curious as to what everybody's listening to, because I really love podcasts. And tonight I'm actually going to watch one of my favorite podcasts live. I'm really excited to film this vlog and for this week, because I think we all need to remember that we need to value our attention. It is one of the most important things that we have. You're good, Zoe. You're good, Zoe. You're a star. You're a star. One of my most listened to podcasts, in fact, I think it was my number one podcast of 2024, according to my Spotify Wrapped, is having a live show tonight here in Orlando, and I have a ticket, and I'm so excited, because I'm not gonna lie, after spending so much time in the trenches yesterday, I'm excited for something that I know is just gonna bring my overall happiness up a little bit. I really love this podcast because it's two bestie girls who have like grown up together. They're like childhood best friends. And yes, they recap parts of their life. So I do have a bit of a parasocial relationship with them, but also their podcast focuses more on like reactions and reading listener stories. And it's so entertaining because the stories that some girls submit are just so funny, sometimes scary, confusing, but overall make me laugh. And I'm excited to maybe hear some of those live or just like see people that I have a parasocial relationship with in person. Like, it's fun. The dress code for their podcast tonight was themed mermaids, I guess because they're here in Florida. And so I'm going to put on my best mermaidy outfit that I feel comfortable in wearing tonight because I'm going by myself.
You got me wrapped around your touch. Lose me and bring me down to earth. Oh, feels like I'm tired of you, cause baby I don't understand why I just keep coming back like your gravity. Ooh, baby, I'm locked on you like magnets. I can't let go of love. Your voice is like a poison, but you know better. Much I try to run away, I find myself just playing pretend. You make me fall in love. You make me fall in love and that again. Love and that again. Every word she play like a violin. Who's gonna tell her? I just want you to open your mind. Cause you got me mesmerized and baby I don't understand why I just keep coming back to insanity. Ooh, baby, I'm locked on you like magnets. I can't let go of love.
So the topic of doom scrolling is pretty personal to me because social media is my job. So the idea of finding a balance between being on social media, being off social media, being influenced by social media, not being influenced by social media is constantly a thought in my mind. And because it's my job, which I am so grateful every single day for, I've accepted the fact that I will probably never have a true balance. But there are a few things that I can practice in my everyday that I'm going to share with you to stop the scroll just a little bit, even before it becomes doom scrolling. And these things aren't necessarily groundbreaking, but from my firsthand experience, they are helpful. The first one being, do not scroll in the morning as soon as you wake up. I actually haven't been doing this for a long time, a few years. So I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back because when I was in my productivity girl like persona and I was trying to make the most of every single day, that is the number one advice people will tell you not to do is pick up your phone in the morning. There have been many times where I scroll first thing in the morning or like not even first thing in the morning, just in the morning at some point. Maybe I've been up for an hour, hour and a half, and I get into that scroll and I get into that doom scroll, and then my whole day is derailed because I have already felt 5,000 emotions within 2 hours of being awake. And I just can't handle that. I'm not built for it. It's too much stimulation. And then I spend the rest of my day trying to re-regulate myself. That's what we're trying to avoid. I did that more than I like to admit as of recent. It's very true. As soon as you pick up your phone, even if it's not text message notifications, it's notifications from my email, Instagram notifications, like all kinds of stuff. And I'm just immediately overwhelmed with like things I feel like I have to do or just information, honestly. So what I do in the morning is as soon as I wake up, I go downstairs, I make a coffee. Let me actually clarify, because as I am talking through my morning routine, I'm realizing that I do get on social media in the morning, but okay, I'm not opening anything that is going to give me information overload. Nothing that is like super short form and just attention grabbing. I mostly gravitate towards YouTube. I'm watching my long form videos, my favorite creators in the morning, my comfort creators in the morning, or I'll scroll on Pinterest because that's much more of a visual app than like a reading or video app. And it just helps me ease into my day. I guess it just was not a reality that I wasn't going to somewhat scroll in the morning. But when I'm watching a YouTube video, I'm not like scrolling. I'm just locked into something. And that is much more soothing to me than updating myself on what everyone has going on. But I can say that number 2, I 100% do, and that is not scroll before I go to sleep. I'm not even on my phone before I go to sleep. That do not disturb turns on, and you're not reaching me. You can ask any of my friends. Do not disturb goes on kind of early in the night, and once that's on, I'm not scrolling. And if I am scrolling, it's through the Kindle Unlimited library, most likely, because that's what I do at night. I read myself to sleep with my Kindle for the most part. Sometimes I'm reading a physical book and I have a book light. More so than not, it is my Kindle just because it's comfier to like lay on my side and read. I love letting myself sink into a story at night, and when I fall asleep, I fall asleep. I feel like people are concerned with like, how do you fall asleep? Reading, you just close your eyes. This also works for audiobooks. I think it almost works better for audiobooks because I'll just put my AirPods in, hit play, close my eyes, cuddle up with my fuzzy blanket, and I'm drifting off to sleep nice and peacefully. And one feature that I really love about Libro FM is that they have a sleep timer, so I can set it up to where the book stops playing after the end of that chapter or after so many minutes, and it's really helpful with not stressing myself out about like missing too much or waking up during a spoiler point, trying to go back and find where I was at before I fell asleep. It's great. I highly recommend. So I feel like those first 2 things, the morning, the evening, are things that are easily controllable in your everyday for the most part, but they both are kind of giving you off-limit times to scroll on social media. And I think the way to do this the best, the way to get the most balance, is to also allow yourself times to scroll on social media. And when I do that, I do try to give myself time limits. Do I always stick to them? No, but I am learning to be more aware of them. And I think that's a perfectly good baby step. And the baby steps matter. For example, I'll give myself a lunch break, an hour to just scroll on social media. And as soon as I see that hour start clicking, I'm like, okay, Melizza, like you told yourself 1 hour. If you stay scrolling, you're gonna have to accept that fact. And in the chance that I am still scrolling, I'll look up, it's been 15 more minutes. I'll be like, okay, girl, let's keep our promises to ourselves and let's continue throughout our day. And that is a practice. It is hard. I sympathize with you. But the whole point of this is to learn to value your own attention and to give it to the things that are actually going to fulfill you. Because what makes doom scrolling so bad, or part of what makes it so bad, is that it is putting your attention in such negative spaces that in the end, don't do a lot for you. So you should instead put that time into something that is going to make you feel happy. It doesn't even have to make you feel the most joyous joy you've ever felt, but happy is a good thing to strive for. And maybe there's a bit of a learning curve. Like maybe you need to learn what your limit is. Maybe an hour is not enough for you to feel satisfied, but over 2 hours is when you start to feel sad inside. Give yourself some grace, give yourself some patience to figure out what that is. I find, specifically for TikTok, after an hour, I start to brain start rot. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I've seen what I needed to see for right now. We're gonna move on. So I think stopping the doom scroll just starts with mindful scrolling, just taking note of when you're enjoying this and when you start to not enjoy it. It seems simple, but when you're so used to just scrolling because it's a time filler or you feel like you need to be informed about things, it's a really easy slippery slope to just start to ignore. I'm just saying, wake up a little bit, girl. Let's pay attention. As I mentioned, I was trying to spend as much of this week off of my phone as I could, and the way that I kind of distracted myself the most was turning in on my own environment and livening it up a bit, meaning some colorful redecorating. I started by painting one of our guest bathrooms pink. It was this ugly, dark green color. I don't know why I picked it in the first place, but I knew that this pink was much more happy, much more vibrant, and honestly girly and cute. It also took me hours that I could have spent scrolling on my phone, but because I poured it into myself and something that I knew that was gonna make me happy, it was much more fulfilling than that. And once I got a taste of that joy, I couldn't stop there. I decided that I was gonna finally do something that I had been putting off, which was repotting a few of the plants that we have in our backyard reading nook.
This used to be lilies, and something used to live in that.
This was the kind of task I would tell myself, oh, I'll do it when I have more time. And behold, when I'm not spending all of my free time on my phone, I can use it to do the things that I said that I wanted to do. And it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. I also took the time to reorganize my bathroom products, my skincare products, my hair products, because they were everywhere and it was driving me insane, and it had been that way for far too long. And I'm positive this gave me more mental clarity than anything I found on TikTok. So even while I'm spending all of this time redecorating, reorganizing, physically staying off my phone, part of what makes stopping the scroll really hard for me is I want to be entertained, I want to be stimulated, and that is why I reach for my phone so often, also because it never really leaves my physical space. But a way that I've kind of combated that is by listening to audiobooks on top of doing something else, most likely. Stay with me, I have a bit of a tangent, but I just learned about this thing. I think it's called dopamine stacking. You're gonna need to fact check that, but it's basically a way to make a task more enjoyable by introducing something that you enjoy along with it. This really, really works for audiobooks for me personally, because I would always rather be reading, to be quite honest, and audiobooks allow me to do something while reading. It's the best of both worlds. So while I've been painting the bathroom, picking out decorations, repotting the plants, I have been listening to an audiobook called The Wild Huntress, and I really like it. It's a fast-paced fantasy. I'm saying that it's fast-paced because it's the kind of book that like you open and we're in it. Like, things are going on, you need to learn people's names, you need to learn the lore, because it's all gonna matter. I'll read you the book description. Every 5 years, 2 kingdoms take part in a wild hunt. Joining is a bloody risk, and even the most qualified hunters can suffer the deadliest fates. Still, hundreds gamble their lives to participate, all vying for the hunt's life-changing prize, a magical wish granted by the other king. So in this realm, we have humans, and we have Fae. I don't know that they specifically call themselves Fae. I can't remember what they call themselves, but people with natural born magic. And then we have these humans that are kind of in between. They're humans with magic, but are not quite the Fae people. And the story is told through 3 different POVs. Bronwyn possesses a gift no other human has, the ability to see and slay monsters. She's desperate to cure her mother's sickness, and the wild hunt is her only option. Gideon is the least impressive of his magically talented family, but with his ability to control plants and his sleight of hand, he'll do whatever it takes to keep his cruel brother from becoming a tyrant. Gideon is one of those special humans that has magic, but isn't Fae. Bronwyn, human, but can somehow see monsters. Pryderi is prince-born and monster-raised. Deep down, the royal crown doesn't interest him, and all he wants to know is where he belongs. A trickster, a prince, and a wild huntress, all in pursuit of the champion's prize. If they band together against the monstrous creatures within the woods, they have a chance to win. But nothing is guaranteed. After all are fair in love and the hunt. Oh, okay, so this book is actually a part of a universe by Emily Lloyd-Jones. So if you know the other books, you might be interested in this one. But I'm actually really liking it so far. It is keeping my attention. Like, when I'm listening to it, I am immersed. And that is something I really prioritize in audiobooks. I actually try to listen to books that are going to immerse me in another world, and that gives me the stimulation that scrolling does. You know, I'm kind of just swapping one out for the other, but in my opinion, audiobooks is a way better choice than scrolling myself into misery. Overall, I think if you rely on social media for entertainment mostly, that is the easiest switch you can make. Movies, crafts, Legos, TV shows, music. There are so many other ways you can be entertained. And I would just suggest swapping out some of that screen time for some of those other things. Open up a coloring book, write a letter to your mom, pet your dog. I bet they would love that. Just making the mindful decision to do something else is enough. And over time, it will get easier. That's the number one easiest thing you could do. Something else. Just do something else. I know. Simple, groundbreaking, but makes all the difference. think while we're on this journey to stop the doom scroll, to scroll less, whatever you want to call it, I think the best thing you can do for yourself is to just be real with yourself. Like, sometimes you just need to be on your phone, at least me. Sometimes nothing is going to scratch that itch in my brain like being on my phone. I love my phone. My phone is a part of me. I'm not afraid to admit that. Sometimes I just need the satisfaction of being on it, and instead of scrolling, what I love to do is online shopping without a budget, but I don't buy anything. The gag is, I don't buy anything. Whatever. This is just something that I like to do that maybe you might have some fun doing too. I will go to like websites I know that I can't afford, or websites that I don't really shop all the time, or I just start searching random things on the internet to buy, and I scroll through them and I shop and I add it to my cart and I just never check out. And that gives me the boost of dopamine the actual shopping gives me. It takes up my time. I'm not taking in like negative information necessarily because it's just products. I am getting served like 5 million ads, but 5 million ads, an endless scroll of negativity that's going to make me feel really bad about myself for the next 8 hours. I don't know what the best trade-off is, but sometimes I find that the 5,000 ad is a little bit better for me in the moment. And that's just a silly little thing that I do to try to not scroll. Like I said earlier, I think it's really just about swapping that time with something else, whether it's real shopping, fake shopping, book listening. And I think over the next few weeks, I'm really going to try to find what more of those things are for me. I know for a fact it's going to be a lot of crafting because Halloween is coming up and I have some great Halloween costume ideas that will require glue. Hopefully using my hands, and that way we'll keep them off of the scroll. Maybe it'll offset my carpal tunnel by a few years. That would be great. But I hope you enjoyed this vlog and spending some time with me. I love spending time with you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.